It was a crisp October morning, the kind where the air carried the faint scent of fallen leaves and the promise of something special. I, Emily Carter, stood in the kitchen of our modest suburban home, stirring a pot of cinnamon-spiced apple cider. The clock read 9:30 a.m., and the house was alive with the quiet hum of preparation. Today marked 10 years since I said I do to Daniel Carter, the man who had been my rock, my laughter, my everything. Or so I thought. The idea for the surprise anniversary party had been mine, born out of a late-night conversation with my best friend, Sarah. 10 years is a milestone, as she'd said, her voice crackling through the phone. Let's throw him a party he'll never forget. I'd agreed, my heart swelling with the thought of seeing Daniel's surprised smile. We enlisted our closest friends, Mark, Lisa, and Tom, and over the past month, we'd planned every detail: a catered dinner, a string quartet, and a slideshow of our memories projected onto the living room wall. Daniel, a history professor with a penchant for tweed jackets and dry humor, had no clue. He'd been busier than usual lately, grading papers and attending late-night faculty meetings. I chalked it up to the pressures of academia, never suspecting the truth lurking beneath his tired smiles. The party was set for 7 p.m., and by noon, the house was transformed. Balloons and gold and ivory floated near the ceiling, and a banner reading a happy 10th anniversary, Dan and M, stretched across the fireplace. As the afternoon wore on, I busied myself with final touches, arranging flowers, testing the projector, when my phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. Running late with the cake. Be there by 6. Hang tight. I sighed, glancing at the clock. Daniel would be home soon, and I needed to keep him distracted. I decided to call him, my fingers trembling with excitement. Hey, honey, I said when he picked up. How's your day going? Want to grab a coffee before you head home? There was a pause, longer than usual. Oh, I'm still at the university. Meeting ran over. I might be late. Don't wait up for dinner, okay? His voice sounded strained, but I brushed it off. No worries. Take your time. Love you. Love you too, he replied, the words clipped. I hung up, a tiny knot forming in my stomach. But I pushed it aside. Tonight was about joy, not doubt. By 6:30 p.m., the guests had arrived, hiding in the dining room while I stood by the front door, heart pounding. The caterers were setting up, and the quartet tuned their instruments. Sarah burst in, cake in hand, her cheeks flushed. It's perfect, as she whispered, hugging me. I nodded, forcing a smile. Where was Daniel? At 7:15 p.m., the doorbell rang. I opened it, expecting him, but it was Tom, breathless. I saw Dan's car parked near the old library. He's not at the university. I thought you should know. My breath caught. The library? At this hour? Maybe he's working late there, I stammered, but the knot in my stomach tightened. I texted him again. No response. The party guests murmured, sensing something was off. Sarah squeezed my hand. Let's give him 10 more minutes. 10 minutes turned into 20. The quartet played a soft melody, but the room felt heavy. I was about to call it off when headlights flashed through the window. Daniel stepped inside, his tie loosened, hair disheveled. Surprise, the room erupted, but his face didn't light up. Instead, he froze, his eyes darting to the crowd, and then to me. What's this? He asked, his voice low. It's our anniversary party, Dan, I said, laughing nervously. 10 years, remember? He rubbed his neck, avoiding my gaze. I need to talk to you. Alone. The guests fell silent as I led him to the kitchen. My heart raced. What's wrong? I asked, searching his face. He took a deep breath. Emily, I've been meaning to tell you. There's someone else. The words hit like a punch. I stared at him, the cinnamon scent suddenly sickening. What do you mean, someone else? Her name's Claire. She's a colleague. It's been a few months. The room spun. Months? While I planned this party, bought his favorite wine, and curated our memories. You're lying, I whispered, but his eyes confirmed it. Rage and sorrow battled within me as I stormed back to the living room, tears streaming. The guests watched, horrified, as I announced, the party's over. Daniel has something to confess. What followed was a blur. Daniel tried to explain, but I couldn't listen. Sarah ushered the guests out, the caterers packed up, and the banner sagged like my heart. That night, I slept on the couch, clutching a photo of our wedding day. The next morning, I found a note from Daniel. I'm staying at a hotel. We need to talk. But I didn't want to talk. I wanted answers. I called Sarah, and together we pieced the clues. Late nights, secretive texts, the library alibi. Claire, it turned out, was a young assistant professor, ambitious and charming. The betrayal cut deeper than I'd imagined. Over the next weeks, I uncovered more emails, receipts, and a locket with her initials. Each discovery fueled my resolve. This wasn't just about a party ruined, it was about a life dismantled. I decided to fight back, not with anger, but with truth. The story of our marriage, his affair, and my resilience would be my weapon. The morning after the party's collapse, I woke to the sound of rain tapping against the window. The house felt empty, Daniel's absence a gaping wound. I sat at the kitchen table, the wedding photo still in my hands, its edges worn from my restless grip. Sarah arrived at 10 a.m., her arms full of coffee and pastries, her eyes full of concern. You look like hell, she said, setting the tray down. We're figuring this out together. I nodded, my voice hoarse. I need to know everything. About Claire. About him. Sarah pulled out her laptop. Let's start with what we can find online. Faculty profiles, social media, anything. We spent hours scrolling through the university's website, uncovering Claire Hensley's page. She was 32, a rising star in the history department, with a PhD from Oxford and a smile that screamed confidence. Her posts on X showed her at conferences, laughing with colleagues, sometimes with Daniel. A photo from a garler, his hand on her shoulder, sent a jolt through me. He's been lying for months, I whispered, tears blurring the screen. Sarah squeezed my hand. We'll get proof. Real proof. That afternoon, I drove to the university, my heart pounding. The old library loomed ahead, its Gothic arches a stark contrast to the modern campus. I parked and waited, watching as faculty trickled out. At 5:30 p.m., Daniel emerged, his tweed jacket soaked from the rain. Beside him was Claire, her umbrella shielding them both. They laughed, her hand brushing his arm, and I felt a surge of nausea. I snapped photos with my phone, the evidence mounting. The next day, I called Daniel. Meet me at the house. Now. My tone left no room for argument. He arrived an hour later, his face pale. Emily, Save it, I snapped, holding up my phone. The photos glowed on the screen. Him and Claire, undeniable. How long? He sank into a chair, head in his hands. 6 months. It started after the spring conference. I didn't mean for it to happen. Didn't mean for it. I laughed bitterly. You planned every step, Dan. The late nights, the excuses. What about us? He looked up, tears in his eyes. I love you, Em. But with Claire, it's different. Exciting. I got lost. The words stabbed deeper than I expected. I threw the phone onto the table. Get out. We're done. He left, and I collapsed, sobbing. But the tears fueled a fire. I wouldn't let him destroy me. I contacted a lawyer, Jane Morrison, a fierce woman with a reputation for handling messy divorces. We'll need everything, she said, reviewing the photos. Bank statements, emails, texts. Build a case. Over the next weeks, I dug deeper. Sarah helped me access Daniel's email. His password hadn't changed since our dating days. What I found was a treasure trove of betrayal, hotel bookings, love letters, even a draft of a resignation letter to the university, hinting at a plan to move with Claire. But one email stood out, a message from Claire to Daniel, dated 3 months ago. The book's safe. No one suspects. Burn it if you have to. The book? I racked my brain. Daniel had been obsessed with a rare manuscript lately, a World War II journal he'd found at an estate sale. He'd called it a historical goldmine. Could this be the tattered black book from his office? I searched his study, finding it hidden under a floorboard. Its pages were filled with cryptic notes, names, and dates, some linked to a German officer. My historian's instinct kicked in. This wasn't just an affair, it was a scandal. I took the book to Mark, a friend with a background in archival research. This could be evidence of a war crimes cover-up, he said, flipping through the pages. If Daniel and Claire were using it for leverage. This is big. Armed with the book and Mark's analysis, I met Jane again. This changes everything, as she said, her eyes narrowing. We can expose them, professionally and legally. But it'll be a fight. I nodded, resolve hardening. I contacted a journalist friend, Rachel, who specialized in investigative pieces. She was intrigued, promising discretion as she began digging. Meanwhile, Daniel's calls grew desperate. Please, let's talk. I'll end it with Claire. Too late, I thought. The party had been my gift. His affair was his. I recorded his pleas, adding to my case. Rachel's first article dropped a week later, hinting at a university scandal involving a professor and a mysterious manuscript. The campus buzzed, and Daniel's name surfaced in whispers. The climax came at a university board meeting I attended, armed with evidence. Claire and Daniel sat at the front, unaware. I stood, presenting the photos, the emails, and the book. This is about betrayal, I said, my voice steady. Not just of me, but of history. The room erupted as the board demanded an investigation. Claire denied everything, but the evidence was overwhelming. Daniel resigned, his career in ruins. Claire faced suspension. The manuscript led to a national inquiry into wartime secrets, thrusting me into an unexpected spotlight. But the victory was hollow. My marriage was over, my trust shattered. Months later, I stood in my home, the divorce finalized. The party decorations were gone, replaced by a new start. Sarah, Mark and Tom threw me a quiet celebration, not of anniversaries, but of survival. I wrote a book about it all, turning pain into purpose. The title? Betrayal, Revenge, and Redemption. It became a bestseller, my story resonating with others. Daniel reached out once, apologizing. I didn't reply. Claire faded into obscurity. And me? I found strength in the ashes, a woman reborn. The surprise party had revealed more than I'd planned, but it also sparked a journey I never expected. The weeks following the university scandal were a blur of interviews, legal meetings, and sleepless nights. It was now late October 2025, and the crisp mornings mirrored the fragility I felt inside. I stood in my kitchen, the scent of brewing coffee replacing the cinnamon of that fateful anniversary day. The house was mine again, the divorce papers signed, but the silence was deafening. Sarah visited often, her presence a lifeline. "You're stronger than you know, as she said one morning, handing me a mug. I forced a smile, but strength felt like a distant memory. The manuscript, now dubbed the Shatton Journal by historians, had sparked a firestorm. Mark's research confirmed it contained detailed accounts of a German officer, Hauptmann Erich Vogel, who documented the cover-up of a 1944 massacre in a French village. The glowing book I'd found wasn't just a symbol of betrayal, it was a key to buried history. Rachel's articles expanded into a series, and a National Archive team contacted me, eager to authenticate it. I agreed, handing it over with mixed emotions, relief to be rid of its weight, yet pride in its significance. Therapy became my refuge. Dr. Layla Hassan, a soft-spoken woman with kind eyes, helped me unravel the tangle of grief and rage. "Betrayal doesn't define you, Emily," as she said during our third session. "It's what you." By mid-November, the Shatton Journal's revelations dominated headlines. The officer's notes implicated high-ranking officials, including a distant relative of a current politician, stirring a political storm. I was invited to a press conference in Washington, D.C., my first trip since the divorce. Standing at the podium, flanked by archivists, I felt Daniel's absence acutely. "This journal isn't just my story," I said, voice trembling but firm. "It's a call to uncover truth, no matter how painful." The fallout was swift. The politician resigned, and a new investigation opened. Historians praised my role, but the attention overwhelmed me. Back home, I received letters, some from descendants of the massacre victims, thanking me, others from conspiracy theorists, accusing me of fabrication. I saved the former, discarding the latter. The journal's legacy was becoming my own, whether I wanted it or not. Mark called one evening, excited. We found a letter tucked in the binding. It's from Fogel to his sister, confessing guilt. This could change everything." I felt a pang. Daniel had held this secret, using it for leverage with Claire. Their plan to sell the journal to a private collector had crumbled, but the truth had prevailed. One rainy afternoon, a knock startled me. I opened the door to Claire Hensley, her face gaunt, eyes red. "I need to talk," as she said, shivering. I hesitated, then let her in. She sat at my kitchen table, hands clasped. "I'm sorry, Emily. I didn't mean to destroy your marriage." Daniel, he pushed me into this. The journal was his idea, to fund a new life. I stared, incredulous. "You expect forgiveness?" "No," as she whispered. "But I have evidence." Emails where he pressured me, threatened to ruin my career if I backed out. She slid a USB drive across the table. "Take it. I'm done with him." I took it, my mind racing. Claire left, and I handed the drive to Jane. The emails corroborated her story. Daniel had manipulated her, promising love while plotting control. It didn't absolve her, but it shifted the blame. Jane advised using it to finalize the divorce settlement, ensuring I kept the house and a fair share. I agreed, feeling a flicker of justice. By December, I began writing in earnest. The title, Betrayal, Revenge, and Redemption, came to me one night as I watched snow fall. I chronicled the party, the affair, the journal, every tear, every triumph. Sarah edited, Mark fact-checked, and Tom designed the cover, a silhouette of a woman against a burning sky. The manuscript grew to 300 pages, a testament to my journey. Publishers vied for it, and I signed with a small press that valued its authenticity. The launch was set for March 2026, but an early excerpt leaked online, garnering thousands of views. Comments ranged from support to vitriol, but one stood out. A year's story gave me the courage to leave my abuser. Thank you. Tears fell as I read it, a reminder of my purpose. On New Year's Eve 2025, I hosted a small gathering. Sarah, Mark, Tom, and Dr. Hassan. We toasted to survival, the Shatton Journal's impact, and my book. Daniel sent a final letter, apologizing, enclosing a check for child support. We had no kids, but it was his guilt talking. I tore it up, sending him silence in return. As midnight struck, I stepped onto the porch, the cold biting but cleansing. The sky cleared, revealing stars, a stark contrast to the smoky chaos of that anniversary night. I thought of Alice, a character I'd created in my book, a woman who rose from war's ashes. She was me, in a way. The pain lingered, but so did hope. The next morning, I began a new chapter, literally and figuratively. A teaching position at a local college offered a fresh start. The journal's legacy continued, with a memorial planned for the French village. And me? I was no longer just Daniel's wife or the scandal's face. I was Emily Carter, author, survivor, a woman redefined. March 10th, 2026, dawned bright and cold, the air crisp with the promise of spring. I stood in front of a packed bookstore in downtown Chicago, my hands trembling as I held the first copy of Betrayal, Revenge, and Redemption. The cover, Tom's design of a woman against a fiery sky, gleamed under the lights. Sarah adjusted my scarf, her smile wide. "You've got this, Em," she whispered. The crowd hushed as I stepped to the microphone. "Thank you for being here," I began, my voice steadying. "This book isn't just my story. It's about survival, truth, and the power of uncovering what's hidden." Here I spoke of the anniversary party, the affair, the Shatton Journal, and the journey that followed. The audience listened, some nodding, others wiping tears. A Q&A followed, with questions ranging from the historical implications to my personal healing. One woman, middle-aged with kind eyes, approached me afterward. "Your words gave me the strength to leave my toxic marriage," she said. I hugged her, a lump in my throat. The launch sold out its initial print run by midnight, boosted by online buzz. Reviews called it a raw and redemptive. And I appeared on morning shows, my face now recognizable. But the attention was bittersweet. Each interview reopened old wounds. Dr. Hassan reminded me to set boundaries, and I did, limiting public appearances to focus on my new teaching role. In late April, I received an invitation from the French government to attend a memorial for the village of Saint-Michel, where the Shatton Journal's massacre had occurred. The event was set for May 15th, 2026, and I couldn't refuse. I flew to Paris with Mark, whose expertise had been crucial, and we drove to the rural hamlet. The village square was adorned with white flowers, a stark contrast to the grey stone buildings scarred by time. The ceremony began at noon, a somber procession led by local elders. A plaque was unveiled, inscribed with the names of the 147 victims, including children. I spoke briefly, translating my words into French with help from an interpreter. This journal brought their stories to light, I said. May we honor them with truth? A survivor, an elderly man named Pierre, embraced me, his hands trembling. You gave us peace, he murmured. Tears streamed down my face as bagpipes played, their wail echoing through the valley. That night, over dinner, Mark shared news. The journal had led to the identification of a mass grave, offering closure to families. I felt a mix of pride and exhaustion. The trip home was quiet, my mind replaying the day. The Shatton journal had transcended my personal pain, becoming a bridge to history. Back in the States, life settled into a rhythm. My teaching job at the community college brought fulfillment. Students eager to learn history inspired me daily. One, a quiet girl named Lila, reminded me of myself at her age, curious and resilient. I mentored her, seeing my own redemption in her growth. The house, once a symbol of betrayal, became a sanctuary, its walls filled with new memories, art from Sarah, books from Mark, laughter from friends. One June evening, as the sun dipped low, I met James at a college fundraiser. He was a literature professor, tall with a gentle smile, and we bonded over our love of stories. Our conversations flowed easily, from Dickens to the Shatton Journal's impact. He never pressed about my past, but when I shared it one night over wine, he listened without judgment. You've turned pain into purpose, he said. I blushed, a feeling I hadn't known in years. Our friendship deepened into something more, tentative but real. By August, we took a weekend trip to the coast, walking hand in hand along the shore. The waves mirrored my emotions, calm on the surface, turbulent beneath. I wasn't ready to call it love, but it was a start, a possibility I hadn't dared imagine. Daniel resurfaced in September 2026, his career destroyed, living in a small apartment. He called, his voice broken. I've lost everything. Can we talk? I agreed, meeting him at a neutral cafe. He looked older, his tweed jacket frayed. I'm sorry, he said, eyes downcast. The journal, Claire, it was greed. I ruined us. I nodded, feeling no anger, just pity. You did. But I've rebuilt. You need to do the same. I left him there, the past finally closing. Claire had faded, her career stalled, and I heard she'd moved abroad. The USB drive's evidence had secured my settlement, but I didn't gloat. Their downfall was their own making. By October 20th, 2026, exactly a year since the anniversary party, I stood on my porch, the morning sun warming my face. The Shatton Journal's legacy lived on, with a documentary in production. My book's second printing was underway, and Lila won a history award, crediting my guidance. James joined me, handing me coffee. Happy anniversary of your new life, he said, smiling. I laughed, the sound free. The pain of Daniel's betrayal had sculpted me, but it no longer defined me. The party had been a surprise, yes, but the real surprise was my strength. I looked at James, the future open before us, and whispered to myself, redemption.